Hi everyone. So we are live yet again for the Story Fest. Welcome to Oxford University Press India's Story Fest that is running this entire week. And if you can see me, drop a hello in the chat box because that's our only way of communication in this live stream. And we're going to communicate a lot. Yes. All right. So I see some highs and hellos. So we have you all with us. That's great. That's great. And while others are joining in, if you can tell me whether my audio and my visuals are okay for you, can you hear me properly? Can you see me properly? If it's a yes, drop proper in the chat box. Drop proper. Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Okay, all right, all right. So we do have propers. Now, a very important question that I have for you today is from which part of the country are you joining in? It's important for us to know where are our listeners from. It's important to know a little bit about the listeners. So, we have somebody from Nepal as well, Tamil Nadu, Sikkim, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh. Telangana, Jharkhand, Gangtok, from the length and the breadth of the country, Haryana, Ambala, Meghalaya, lovely Tirupur, Sikkim, Rajasthan, Rajkot, Kolkata. This is exciting. So looks like that we have students and teachers and parents. So who are you? Are you joining? Are you a student of grade 3 to 5 or any other class? Are you a teacher or are you a parent? Drop that in the chat box. Who am I talking to? Who is listening to me? Do we just have students, school going students here, or do we also have teachers and parents with us? Just write either teacher, student, or parent. Don't write any other. Okay, so we have students from other classes as well. That's great. So I see most of the students are here, and let me tell you a secret. This story fest is also for parents and teachers. So, of course, students are welcome. Students are our soul. However, we would highly recommend that if parents and teachers can spare some time along with and attend the session, that will be great because storytelling, listening to stories is a community activity, is a family activity. So, spare this time out for yourself so that all of you can enjoy the telling together. All right. Okay, all right, lovely. So now we come to the next question because it is day 2 of the Story Fest, and we have some very exciting stories from you for you. As you know, that this Story Fest has been designed based on the reading portal, books available on the reading portal of Oxford University Press India, and they have some beautiful content. They have some very, very exciting, very interesting stories. And the idea of this Story Fest is to make you aware of some of those stories, make you aware of what treasure trove the stories can be if we look at them by diving deep into them. Yes? Okay. So, how many of you were there yesterday as well? If you were there yesterday and if you're here today, write day 2. And if you're here for the first day of the Story Fest, write day 1. So let me see from everybody who has logged in, is it day 1 or day 2 for you? So you have attended both today. It's lovely. It's lovely to see you all back. Thank you for joining back. And today we have two exciting stories for you and some interesting deep dive into one of the elements of the story. Now, since most of you are saying day 2, so you were here. So can you quickly remind me in the chat box, what did we talk about yesterday? What about the story did we talk about? Anybody remembers? Anyone remembers? Yes, we remember. Oh, lovely. So we had a story about Anu and a story about fishermen. And we talked about elements of the story. Yes, Astro number Upma, characters, settings, problems, solution, emotions. We talked a little bit about morals. We also talked about plot. And we talked about different elements of the story. So today is going to be exciting as well. We are going to focus on one of these elements. And who do you think we will focus on? Listen to my sentence carefully. Who do you think we will focus on from the elements of the story? Who do you think we will focus on? So somebody has written there are five elements, five or six elements that we discussed yesterday: characters, emotions, setting, problem, solution, conflict, and the solution. Now, my question is, who do you think are we going to focus on today? I'm using the a specific word. Thank you so much that you liked our stories, and we are so happy that you're back with us. Absolutely, everyone. Who defines characters in the stories? So, yes, today we are going to talk in detail about the characters in the story. So, now, are you ready for the story? Drop ready if you're ready to begin the first story for the day. Somebody has done their homework well. They know which story we are going to start with. Yes, we are going to start with the story of Ron Joy. Ron Joy faces his fears. Everybody is ready. Lovely, 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 lovely. So let's call the story. Who will remind me how do we call the story? Who will remind me how do we call the story? Yes, we are going to be here for 5 days. The Story Fest has started yesterday, and we are going to meet you every day at 4 p.m. till Friday. All okay, okay. How do we call the story? Oh, yes, somebody said it. Call the story. Call the story. Call, call the story. Call the story with all your love. Everybody, call the story. Call the story. Call the story. Call it with all your love. And today, what we're going to do is I'm going to do the read alouds. Yesterday, I did the tellings. What I am also trying to do is introduce you to different formats of tellings. So that's why I asked if there are parents and teachers around, please take note what all can be done with the stories. Okay, let's check. Mhm. Okay, here we are. So the first story for today here. Now you have to tell me, can you see my screen? Everybody. If you're able to see my shared screen, put a yes in the chat box. All right, lovely. What is written on your screen right now? Can you give me the title of the page that you see? Okay, lovely. And all right. Yes, you can. Yes, the story is here, right here. Thank you for thank you for calling the story. And can you see me as well on your screen? All right, lovely. Okay, okay. So without further ado, in with what we have. So the story that I've chosen from this book, the first story that we're going to read together today, and do the telling is Rona Joy. So this book, World in Worlds for class three, or it's not really class three, it's a level three book, which has three stories. So I have chosen one of them, and the first story is Rona Joy faces his fears. So that's the first story, and who do you see here? Who do you see on your screens? You see a boy, and this boy has to be Ron Joy. So the story that we're going to read is called Ron Joy Faces His Fears, and this story is written by Priyadarshini Gogoi. So whenever we are doing read alouds, it's important to know what is the title of the story, who has written the story, who's the author of the story, and then which publication house this is from. So without any delay, can you drop in the chat box who has written this, which publishing house has published this story? A chocolate for the guesses. Which publication house has published this story, has printed this story in a book? All right. Yes, Oxford University Press. So the story is this. So now, before we begin the story, because story comes to those who have patience and who take time to dive deep into the story. So tell me, what is the expression on this boy's face looks like to you? What is the expression on this boy's face looks like to you? Fear. Fear. All right, so that's fearful Ronajoy standing behind the gate, inside the room, at just the doorstep. Let's see. One evening, Ronajoy kicked his ball into the dark, scary shed at the edge of the garden. His grandmother was weaving at the loom on the front porch, and he went to her for help. Please, Anadio, please, please. I'm scared to go alone. I can't go to that shed. That a witch lives in that shed. I can't go there to take my ball. So the story begins. A quick recap. Where is the setting? What is the setting of this story, children? What is the setting of this story? The house, the farmhouse. All right, yes. So Ranajoy is home, and Ranajoy has kicked his ball while playing in the shed just outside the house, and he's scared to go there alone because he thinks that grandma can help him, and he thinks that he cannot go alone because there is a witch in the shed. Hey, ha! Maybe he hears such sounds from the shed. Who knows? Said Anaida, pulling up her mekla around her waist. So, children, anybody who's going to tell, anybody knows what is a mekla? I know I can see some of you from the region from where this particular attire is. I can see that some of you are there. So mekla is the kind of attire that is worn like a sari. It is a sari worn in Assam and the nearby regions. Perfect. Thank you so much. So, while Grandma pulled up her mekla around her waist, she said, No witch can stop us from getting your ball back. And so they went to the shed together. Now, as they went to the shed together, because the shed was not used so much, as they opened the door, creak, the voice came in. How the kind of sound that comes from the jarred doors. An idea. Wait, whispered Ronjoy. An idea. Wait, I am scared. But an idea had already walked in. Scared? Huh. All you need is a pinch of courage, she said, brushing away the cobweb. Ronajoy followed timidly, keeping an eye out for the ball. So, let's check here. We have Ronajoy and we have Grandma. How many characters are there in the story? Two. Can you tell me one very major difference between these two characters? Don't get scared. We are into the story, so we have two characters. Can you tell me one major difference between these two characters? One is fearless and one is fearful. Very good. One is old and one is young. One is timid and one is brave. Age difference. One is courageous, one is fearful. Old, young. So we have been able to identify three major differences from your responses. One is old and one is young. One is fearful and one is fearless. One is courageous, brave, and one is timid. So out of these three differences, tell me, children, which difference can you tell by just looking at them? The gender, very nice. The gender, one is male, one is female. The fourth one. So, which of these four characteristics or differences could you identify by just looking at them? Age and gender. One is child, one is adult. Again, you can look at them and tell this. So, the characteristics of a particular person, which we can identify just by looking at them from outside, are the external traits or the physical appearance like characteristics. All right. And the other two, which we can only identify once we talk to them, once we get to know about them, once we know what they are thinking, how they are behaving in a certain situation, what is their personality sketch like, those are called inner traits of a character. And the mix of this inner trait and the external trait make for a good character. Yeah? All right. So let's begin with the story once again. Let's continue. I'm going to share my screen again. All right. So, suddenly, as they entered the room and Grandma was kicking away the cobwebs, Ronajoy saw something from the corner of his eye. Anitio, look! The witch's hat! There upon the wall of the shed fell a shadow, tall and long and pointy. Anitio stopped and peered at the shadow. The witch's hat, you say? Ma, Anitio, I'm scared. And you are laughing? Of course! Come with me! And with that, she took a step forward, pointing her walking stick at the shelf on the wall. Something pattered onto the floor. It was a pile of glittery hats from Ronajoy's 10th birthday. This is what you are seeing in the shadow, not something a witch would wear, The green and the yellow and the pink and the blue cap? Hmm. No witch there? No, my child, no, said an idiot. But there was no ball there either. They moved forward. So now they have no witch, but no ball yet. So they move a little forward. Grandma with her brave walk, and Ronajoy with his timid walk following the grandma. Anitio, 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 whispered Ronajoy. He pointed at something in a corner. Look, look, the witch's eye. Two round green spots of lights glowed in the dark. Said Anaidio, looking at in the direction of the green eyes. Then she moved one slow step forward, and before Ranajoy could stop her, she banged upon the floor with her stick. There was a hiss, and then eyes began to move, and then there was a meow. Who's there? Whose green eyes did Ron Joy see, everybody? Put it in the chat box. Yes, Ayansh, very good. It's a cat. It was Ronajoy's cat, Ghibli. It had been her green eyes that Ronajoy had seen. Children, can you name some animals whose eyes appear green in the dark? Have you seen anybody else, any other animal than the cat? Any other animal? Dogs, yes. Tigers, yes. So, animals from the cat family usually have this trait and many others as well. So, Grandma smiled a little and asked Ronajoy, was that the witch or just your own cat? Come on, let us get your ball. An idea led Ronajoy deeper into the shed. Wait an idea, look, the witch's claws. Long, pointy shadows stretched into the witch's fingers and nails across the wall. The witch's claws, you say? She stomped forward, her hands reaching out, and Ronajoy held his breath and waited. Aha! An idea grabbed something. Suddenly, the witch's claws were no longer claws, but an old garden rake. Ronajoy's fear was defeated once again. But the ball is yet to be found. Now, children, you have seen the setting. You have been seeing the pictures. You've seen the setting. Where do you think the ball could be? Just look at this picture carefully and tell me, where do you think the ball could be? Where do you think the ball could be? Underneath the trunk. Look at different images, right? House, drum, bicycle, inside the box, in the basement. Let's see. What all is there in this shed, and where can the ball be? In the box, in the box, in the box is the ball. In the drum, in the drum, in the drum is the ball. Let's go. Let's look for more. Now, soon, Rhonda Joy and Grandma had reached the darkest, blackest corner of the shed. The only source of light was Anidio's dim lantern. As they moved, shadows danced around them, spookily, and even Anidio looked worried. Now, what are the different shadows that we have seen in the story till now? Can you quickly write what are the different shadows that we have seen in the story till now? We saw three different shadows. What were those shadows? Shadows of a party hat, cat, and hat, cat, and a rake. Right? Very good. So now all these shadows of a party hat, of a rake, and the cat, green eyes, were now dancing all around. They looked at the right and they saw the green eyes because the cat was going all over. They looked at this wall and there were claws there. They looked at that wall and the pointy hat was sitting there. Woohoo! This was very, very disturbing. And now even the grandma was getting worried. Run a joy, wait, she whispered and grabbed Rona Joy's arm. There's something there. And Ideo pushed her glasses up and squinted at the shape. Near the wall, partly hidden by a white sheet, something was waiting. What does this look like? What does this image look like, everybody? What does this image look like? A mirror. And what is the image, the shadow on that? A witch. Is that the witch? Said the Nighty, fearful for the first time. But now Ranajoy was not afraid. He puffed up his chest. Now look at the transition. The Nighty is afraid. And Ranajoy says he puffed up his chest with courage. The witch, you say? He marched to the wall confidently and pulled off the sheet which was covering a tall mirror. And there exactly where they found Ronajoy's ball beside the mirror. And what they had seen moving had been their own reflections. The sun had almost set when Ronajoy and Anitio come out of the shed. They laughed and patted each other on the back, proud to have faced their fears. Then they walked back home together, looking at all the shadows and shapes around them. Ronajoy held his grandma's hand, but he was not so afraid anymore. All they had needed was a sprinkle of courage. And that's the end of the first story. Ronajoy faces his fears. Now, in one word, quickly, how did you find the story? And then I have a quiz trick question for you. How did you find? And thank you, Prepankuri, for joining with your sisters. How was the story? Put it in the chat box. What did you enjoy about it? What you did not enjoy about it? Let us know. All right. Now I have a question for you. They were getting scared and they were seeing all sorts of shadows there. What is that one object in the story? If it had not been there, they would not have seen any shadows. Think, think. If you were there yesterday, we talked a little bit about these things. So they were seeing a lot of scary things, right? What is that one object in the story? If it was not there, object. So some of you are giving me the answer, but tell me the object. The light gives causes shadows, right? It makes shadows. The lamp that Rona Joy was carrying was making different kinds of shadows. And the second question, even if the lamp was not there, which was that one thing that they had definitely seen out of the four things that scared them? If even if the lamp was not there, which is that one thing that they would have seen, even if the lamp was not there? Cat eyes. Good job, children. Good job. Cat eyes, cat eyes. The green cat eyes are not dependent on the lamp and shadow creation. Lovely. So now coming back to the characters that we are talking about. Everybody, can you, now that you have seen the pictures and everything, can you write a few words about physical appearance or the external trait of Ron Joy? Let's describe Ron Joy in a few words. I want you to give one or two words about Ron Joy's physical appearance. Thank you, everybody who enjoyed, and thank you, everybody who got bored. We'll try to make it more fun for you. Two words about Ron Joy, about his physical appearance, how he looks, what you can see about him. A little short and young, a little boy. Very good. What else? Cute and small. All right. Cute and small. Brown hair. Timid personality. That is something also that's visible. All right. Innocent. All right. So all the things that we talked about, the physical appearance are the external traits of that particular character, right? Now, when we hear the character talking, when we see what they are saying, when we see how they are behaving, is the time when we realize that, all right, okay, this is how it will be. This is who they are. Kind and happy, fearful, fearless, courageous, and brave. So, quickly in the chat box, what are the two main aspects of a character? What kind of traits are the two main, can be divided into two categories? What are those two categories? To define a character sketch. That's how you read your character. How do they look? How do they behave? What do they say? How do they respond to certain situations? Their response, their expressions, all everything matters. So what are the two categories that we divided this into? Give me the name of the broad categories, everybody, for a character sketch. Something that you can define by looking at a person, something that you can define only when you get to know the person. Very good, Rajeshwari. The external and the internal traits. Lovely. Physical and inner traits, personality traits. Lovely, lovely, lovely. So now, are you ready for the second story? If you're ready, put ready in the chat box. If you're ready for the second story, put ready in the chat box. Yes? No, no, yes, yes, no, ready. Ready, yes, all right. So before we begin the second story, I want all of you to quickly grab a sheet of paper and a pen. And once you have got it, please put grab in the chat box. Once you have your sheet of papers and a pen, please put grab in the chat box. Go get a paper and a pen or a pencil before we begin the second story. Do we have everybody? Are you ready? All right. So we have a pen and a paper. Now I am going to read aloud the second book to you, or the second story to you, and let's see what I have for you. This gets interesting. All right. This is what I have. Mhm. All right. Okay. So we have, do you see, what do you see on the screen? What do you see on the screen? What do you see on the screen? Jar? One jar? Yes, everybody, call the story. Call the story. Call the story. Thinking about all the food that you ate. You see jars with spices. Now, who's going to tell me first? How many jars are here? How many jars do you see on the screen? 15 jars filled with different kinds of spices. If I start numbering them from the top left, one, two, three, four, five, which jar almost has an eye and a nose and a face in it? Can you tell me? Which jar has a face in it? Which jar has a fifth one? Very good. The one on the top right corner. And the next question is, what do you have jars in your house? And what do you store in the jars except for spices? Do you store anything else in the jars except for spices that you see here? Let me see what you store in the jars. Spices and stories. Okay. Pickles, masala, butter, salt, dals, jam, chocolates, yummy, candies, pickles, cookies, namkeen, groundnut, butter, spices, sugar, essence, lovely. So the story that we're going to read now is Remembering Amma. The story has been written by Vishali Shroff and it is published in Level 5 book of World in Words by Oxford University Press India. These books are available on the reading portal and they have many, many, many interesting stories like these. Who do you see? Who will count first and tell me how many characters do you see on the screen right now? How many characters do you see on the screen right now? This is the first page of the story. How many characters? Okay, all right. So, with grandma included, there are 17, 18, otherwise, there are 17. And this is the whole big family of grandma. There's nothing more we loved to talk about at family get togethers than Amma, my grandmother. Amma this, Amma that. Everyone had a story to share about her. So, whenever everyone from the family came together, they talked about Amma. Now, who is narrating the story? Tell me, children, who is narrating the story? Who is narrating the story? Grandma is narrating the story. Somebody is saying grandma and somebody is saying daughter, granddaughter. Now, I want you to choose between two. Is grandma narrating the story or grandmother or granddaughter? Now, listen to the sentence carefully. There is nothing more we loved to talk about at family get togethers than Amma, my grandmother. Amma this, Amma that. Everyone had a story to share about her. So, yes, I am narrating the story, but in the book, who is telling us this story? The granddaughter or the grandmother? Amma this, Amma that. Everyone had a story to share about my grandmother. Yes, everybody. Granddaughter is. So Vishali Shroff is the author. She is not the narrator. Okay. She has written this story. Yes, she's the author. But the narrator in this story is the granddaughter. Okay. Good. But this story, it's epic. The story of her pickles. Her mouth watering pickles with sharp flavors. Just like her sharp personality, the silver tones in her white hair, her starched sari in shades of white and beige, and the little gold ring that was part of her nose since she got married always made her dazzle. Children, do you notice the beautiful character sketch that has been told to us? Now, can you tell me, is this character sketch based on external traits, internal traits, or both? Listen to all the three options before you respond. Is this character sketch based on the external traits, inner traits, or both? I'm reading it once again. The story of her pickles, her mouth-watering pickles with sharp flavors, just like her sharp personality. The silver tones in her white hair, her starched sari in shades of white and beige, and the little gold ring that was a part of her nose since she got married always made her dazzle. So, is it only the external traits? Was there an internal trait as well? Or is it both? Both, yes. So, there is also a brief mention about her sharp personality. Now, this, do you see this character sketch? Do you see the external traits? How she looks, what she wears, what is her hair like, what she wears on her nose. So, everything that makes her distinct. So when we are defining the character sketch, so we will not end up saying, we may end up saying that, two eyes, one nose, one mouth. We may also end up saying this, but these are very, very generic, unless we have an exception, right? Every human being almost has these. However, when we are defining the character sketch, it's important for us to see what are the distinct appearance, distinct look, the shape, the size, the height, that will give a distinct look to your character. So much so that in 3-4 lines, somebody can actually imagine what you're talking about. Now that we are talking about the character sketch, apart from the grandmother, the text is also talking about her granddaughter, the narrator. I want you to take 1 minute and put physical appearance of the granddaughter in your notebook, one who is narrating. You brought your papers and pens, right? So I'll give you 60 seconds to put down and write a character sketch, physical character sketch, using the external traits for the granddaughter. Can we do this quickly, please? And once you are done, please write done in the chat box. Okay? And make sure that you do it and write. Preeti speaks, you're done. Can you please type your response in the chat box while the others are working? Bhaskar, internal and external traits. External traits are the traits that include physical appearance, how the person looks, what the person wears, what is the distinct something. So any trait that you can identify by just looking at the person, whether somebody's old, young, a child, naughty, short, height. And internal traits are the traits based on somebody's personality, what they do, how they behave. So basically, they are the adjectives that define the behavior, the expression, the emotion, and the response of a character. Okay? So if you are done, can you quickly type your responses in the chat box? What have you written about the granddaughter? I want to see. Write full sentences. Put 3-4 adjectives straight away in the same response. Don't give one word answers. Children, I want you to write about granddaughters who's narrating. So now we don't know anything about the granddaughter from this first page, but I want you to imagine and write about her. Imagine and write. What would the granddaughter be like? She's young. Okay, you think she's kind. She loves her amma. Definitely, she loves her amma. See, in this one sentence, we can actually figure this out about her, that she loves her amma. That's why she is talking about her, right? She is a nice person. Okay. She has a pretty mind. She has black hair. She's wearing a suit. Okay. She is a happy person. Okay, interesting. So, everybody who's asking what we are doing. So, today, while we are reading the stories at the Story Fest, we are also trying to dive deep and get to understand about character sketches. What defines the beautiful characters in the stories? If somebody tells you, "Hi, this is Seema, Seema slept, Seema woke up and went away," this is not interesting, right? You want to know a little bit more about Seema. Who is Seema? How does she look? What is special about her? How she responds to crisis, how she responds to excitement, how she responds to happiness, right? All those things. So, any character sketch, I am repeating again, is designed by the external traits and the internal traits. And when we meet them, when we make them meet, when all of that comes together, you have a nice, robust character. Should we move ahead in the story? So every day we are going to meet from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. till Friday in this story fest to explore different stories and various other characters. All right. Now, Amma lived in a quaint countryside village. People across the length and breadth of that village would come to Amma's house just to try her pickles. They would talk about them for days and weeks and months. Can't stop eating it, Amma. Is this mango? Asked one. Lemon, right? Asked another. Chili is it? No, no, no. Garlic, na? Inquired a third. Everyone tried to guess the ingredients, but they failed miserably. So, does this page tell us something about Amma? Can you write what one inner trait of Amma that has been told to us just now? Everyone is trying to guess the ingredients, but they failed. So Amma is a secret keeper. She loves to keep her recipes secret. It looks like. Let's see. Ha! Keep guessing, but you will never get a whiff of my ingredients. My recipes will always be well guarded secrets. She was very generous in sharing her pickle jars. Eat as much you want with everyone. But her recipes? Shh. Amma made pickles from mysterious vegetables and spices that she grew in her secret garden. Sunanda, her caretaker, was the only one she trusted with her pickle recipes. Once Amma was done pickling for the day, she would write the recipe in her diary and put it away in a heavy iron locker. She had a big almirah in which there was a locker. She would keep her diary there and lock it. You'll make a fortune if you sell your pickle recipes to me. Achari Mal of the famous shop Pickle Paradise would tell Amma. He was one of the many people who were trying hard to get her recipes. So Sunanda knows it all and Acharimal wants it all. My recipes and pickles are not for sale, Amma would reply firmly. But Acharimal never gave up. He kept luring poor Amma, sometimes with expensive saris, sometimes with the finest oils and spices. Amma never accepted any of them. She was sincerely fed up with everyone who eyed her recipes. Yes, somebody is saying she's a good chef, very good chef. Lovely, lovely, lovely. That is also something that we know about her as a character from the story. Then one day, ah! My precious diary is missing. Where can I go? The last time I saw, it didn't have legs. Where can it go? Cried a devastated Amma. Sunanda was more devastated. Acharimal was even more devastated. Can you tell me why Acharimal was the most devastated of all three? What, everyone, write a few words about Acharimal's character. We are going to end this story soon, but tell me a little. Tell me two words about Acharimal's character. What do you think about the best? Okay, Acharimal. He wanted her recipes. He's a smart businessman. Very good, Ashutosh. He's smart businessman and he wants to benefit from her recipes. Yes, he wants money. Lovely, lovely. Come here soon! Amma bawled over the phone as she told us about her stolen diary. The recipes meant everything to her. We boarded the next train to the village to meet Amma. Amma showed us the entire family is here. Amma showed us the heavy iron locker that had guarded the recipes all her life, open and empty. I hugged Amma tightly and promised her that we would find her precious diary soon. Now, everybody, do you see the granddaughter who's been narrating the story? Which color frock is she wearing? Everybody, if you are looking at the pictures and if you have identified the granddaughter, yes, he is greedy. Yes. So if you have identified the daughter, I want you to write which color frock is the granddaughter wearing now in the chat box. Very good, everybody. Yes, yellow and green. Amma, if you had only given your recipes to me, they wouldn't have gone missing, said a charimal. You pickled paradise! You took the diary, didn't you? Amma was furious. No, I mean, no one would steal it, said a charimal and quickly left before Amma lashed out at him any further. उसने कहा यहाँ से भागने में ही भलाई है. I have a plan, I told Amma. Let's announce we know the thief. What? You you do? Sunanda asked with surprise. Shh, wait and watch. News spread like pickle on roti. A curious Acharimal came back. Who stole it? Not him again. It's him. It has to be him, said Sunanda. He was the one who wanted Amma's recipes. He wanted to increase his business. He is the one who has stolen. And then, listening to this, a charimal god. Can you look at at the face of a charimal? What is the expression on the face of a charimal? Everybody, what is the expression on the face? What is the expression? Put it in the chat box. Angry. He got angry and he said, "What about you then? You are the only one who knows all her secrets." Exactly. I already know the recipes. I know the secrets, and that is why I don't need to steal the diary. You pickle recipe stealer. How can you blame me? You don't have any evidence. You. Stop fighting, you guys, I said. The thief will be declared soon. Maybe the real thief will come back to clear the fingerprints on the locker or to return the diary. It has to be someone who knows Amma. I went to the locker room that the next day with the big magnifying glass that Papa had gifted me on my last birthday. Can you look at this picture image and tell me what is she going to do with the magnifying glass? Does the image tell you something? Picture on this page. What will she do with this magnifying glass? Oh, yes, fingerprints. As soon as I entered the room, I saw Sunanda peeping inside the locker. It's you! Acharimal was right. Oh, no way. Why would I take the diary? I was just dusting the locker. And what are you hiding behind the bag? The diary, isn't it? I used this cloth to wipe the locker. It was so dusty. Silly Sunanda. Now you have wiped off all the fingerprints with that cloth. Did you do that on purpose so you don't get caught? Sunanda just walked away without saying a word. But now my hopes to find the fingerprints were lost. How will I ever find the real thief? I thought to myself. That night I couldn't sleep. Soon I heard the slow creaking of the door that led to the locker and decided to check. The moonlight was shining through the window. The hooting of owls, the incessant howling of street dogs, and the chirping of crickets played like background music. I tiptoed behind the person whose shadow was now clearly visible on the wall. Ooh, who do you think this shadow belongs to? Quickly in the chat box, help me solve the mystery. Sunanda has seen somebody. There are owls hooting, street dogs howling, crickets chirruping. And who do you think? It's a fat boy? It's a stealer. Who do you think is the stealer? Category means two different divisions. Let's see. Who is this? It wasn't a Chariman. It wasn't Sunanda. It wasn't me, of course. It was Amma! I shouted. I won't forget the look on Amma's face when she saw me. Did you steal your own diary, Amma? No, no. Why would I do that? So that no one else could ever lay their hands on it. So if you tell the world that it is stolen, nobody will even look for it. Hmm. You would make a fine detective, my dear, replied Amma. And you must join the theatre. No one will believe it was you all along. Why did you call us here if you had stolen your own diary? I asked her. Amma smiled and handed over her precious diary to me. It is in safe hands now. Oh, Amma, thank you, I said as I stared in awe at my precious inheritance. So the diary was given to the granddaughter by Amma. The silver tones in her white hair, her starched sari in shades of white and beige, and the little gold ring that was a part of her nose since she got married made her dazzle in the moonlight. That's how we like to remember her. Charming, funny, witty, and always cooking up a storm or maybe a pickle. So, on the first page of the story, you had Amma's characters defined mostly by her external appearance, physical appearance. And towards the end of the story, now that we know Amma very, very well, the last paragraph ends by defining her internal traits, her personality, what she likes, how she likes to behave, and what she does. And that's the story of Amma, her pickles, and the granddaughter remembering Amma. Before I move to the next part or last 5 minutes, how are you feeling after listening to the second story? One word, everybody. How are you feeling after listening to both the stories? Yes, we are in last 2 minutes. All right. All right. So I hope that you will be able to now understand your characters a little better. Look at them not just from the text of the story about what they are doing, but read what they are saying, how they are behaving, what are the pictures that define them, and you will be able to know a little bit more about the characters and how they behave, how they walk, how they talk, what they wear, etc., etc., etc. And about the moral of the story, like I said yesterday. Okay, so quickly in the chat box, the moral of both the stories. Let's see what you come up with. I'm glad that you enjoyed. Quickly in the chat box, and we wind up. What is the moral of the story for both the stories according to you? No greediness, being nice, don't steal, don't stick your stuff, think ahead of the enemy, never be afraid. See, so many different people, so many different things that you have got from the story. Don't box your stories in one model. Take as much as you can because stories have a lot to share. With that, we come to the end of day two, everybody. Thank you for joining. Please don't forget to join us at 4 p.m. tomorrow, day three, where we'll have more interesting stories, more interesting reflections to do. And happy storytelling. Enjoy storying. Keep listening, keep telling, keep reading. Bye bye.